1985 is the third track from Haken's fourth studio album, Affinity, released in 2016. In addition to complex and progressive musicality, their albums feature heavily interconnected lyrics that tell stories and explore complicated parts of the human experience. They often leave many blanks to fill in, but on a recent listen, an interpretation came through clearly to me that I knew I wanted to share. I don't normally make videos, so thank you in advance for excusing the poor production quality. Now let's dive in. I stand, map in hand, direction misaligned. I play my role with the cast of a die. The I here is humanity as a species. Our intelligence awoke in the darkness of the universe with an extremely limited ability to look backwards through time. Fragmented into small tribal units at war with ourselves, the only window into our origins came through oral tradition and living memory. With certainty of nothing except our own self-awareness, we guessed at our purpose and meaning, our role, from what we could glean of the world around us. But our perceptions of the world are often misaligned with its true nature, and our first attempts at mapping our universe and our place in it, religion and philosophy, frequently failed and deceived us. It spins through the air, bound by gravity. So why can't I feel momentum pulling me? Clearly, our ability to exercise our agency on the universe is constrained, or bound. In The Matrix, Morpheus explains to Neo that their computerized training arena, and the Matrix itself, operate under certain basic rules like gravity. Gravity and the laws of physics are one example of the rules that bind us, but there are others. 2 + 2 is always 4, suffering is unpleasant, death takes us from this world and comes for us all. Obviously, God is able to restrict our capabilities as agents, but to what end? Why doesn't God put in place forces to pull us towards a clear purpose? I'm reminded of a quote from Einstein. I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists, not in a God who concerns himself with fates and actions of human beings. Spinoza was a 17th century Enlightenment thinker, and the God he talked about was essentially synonymous with the universe itself. You might understand this if you've ever referred to the grand design of the universe, without literally believing the universe was designed by a supernatural intelligence. This is the God who will be invoked in the chorus. Their design, shifting frame by frame. Blur the lines, the cycle starts again. The chorus expresses the central theme of the song, as good choruses tend to, which remains a constant point of relevance throughout this exploration of humanity's past and future. As the movie of our existence plays, the gods' plan for us, their design, seems to be constantly changing or shifting. As our scientific knowledge expands, its tide encroaches on the ever-shrinking island of unknowns and mysteries. The more we learn, the more we consider that we may not be here to serve at the pleasure of an angry or jealous God who sends storms and plagues as punishment for earthly transgressions. Yet this does not mean that we should be consumed by nihilism or behave as if our existence is without significance. A universe without a God to please is not one without meaning or purpose. Rather, it's one where our duty is to each other and our descendants, to create a world that minimizes suffering and allows all conscious beings to flourish. If we blur the lines of morality and forget this, we risk destroying ourselves. Nuclear war, climate change, engineered pandemics, pick your favorite. These threaten to start the cycle again, eliminating either our society as we know it or our entire species. In the first case, our knowledge could be set back by millennia. In the second, the universe will take millions or even billions of years to engineer another intelligent species to take up our mantle. My first step was undertaken aimlessly, yet I arrive as if I'm meant to be. Conceived by desire or compelled by certainty? Did I decide or did the road choose me? This verse speaks to our evolutionary origins. As humanity has grown, our ability to look back in time has exponentially increased, first through writing and preserved written history, and then through archaeology, paleontology, biology, geology, and other sciences. We discovered that we are the products of billions of years of evolution, a process that began with a single, aimless first step, a random genetic mutation. Even so, it's difficult to escape the feeling that we were meant to be, that even with all its dependency on random mutation, evolution was always driving towards humanity, or some intelligent species more generally, as an endpoint? Are we conceived by desire? Is evolution the tool of an intelligent creator to bring us into existence, as some religious scientists argue? Or is our existence compelled by certainty? Is it just an inevitable feature of the evolutionary process? Richard Dawkins' metaphor of evolution as the blind watchmaker comes to mind. In either case, can we really be said to be here by our own choice? In discussing the album Life is But a Dream, I heard M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold observe that we're brought into this world without asking. This strikes me as true of us both as individuals and as a species. It's difficult to argue that we're here by choice, and thus it seems the road chose us. Their design, shifting frame by frame. Blur the lines, the cycle starts again. Having explored our origins in the second verse, we might feel uncomfortable with the prospect of being brought into a world where we can suffer without our consent. The chorus reiterates our struggle to grapple with our own changing conception of the will of the gods, but reminds us of the stakes involved. Again, I'm reminded of an idea Avenged Sevenfold plays with, this time from the stage. The more we learn about our origins and about the universe, the more it becomes clear that there is no, quote, crowd who peers through the cage as we perform here on the stage, unquote. We are simply trapped in this universe with each other, and we will either find a way to flourish together, or we will fail and reset the cycle. Still, it's difficult to escape the question of why there should be anything at all, or at least, why should life forms advanced enough to suffer exist? The answer for me comes from Carl Sagan, who said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." Humanity and any other intelligent life across space and time are the universe made sentient. All I am, blood, flesh, and bone, hand in hand, love, trust, and hope. Step by step, all roads lead home. Birth to death, thy will be done. I hear humanity speaking in one voice here. The melody, matched by a higher voice singing a fifth above, invokes the image of the man and woman etched into the Pioneer plaque, which we shot into space aboard the 1972 and 1973 Pioneer spacecrafts. They represent our species for any extraterrestrial life that might find the Pioneer probes, as they speak for our species here. If we accept the mantle placed on us in the chorus, we should endeavor to be guided by love, trust, and hope, and unite to explore the universe and shape it into a place that reflects these principles. Doing so will involve finding new worlds and new homes for our species. Here I'm reminded of a quote. No matter how you get there, or where you end up, human beings have this miraculous gift to make that place home. If we exercise this gift, all roads through the cosmos will lead home. Humans have always been explorers and artificers, a word I heard recently denoting that we are born to make things. Guided by a robust morality, we will be poised to spread out into the universe and impose our agency on it. Thy will be done here refers not to any god, as it does in the Our Father prayer from which it's borrowed, but rather to humanity itself. By the way, that quote about human beings having a miraculous gift to make any place home, it comes not from a scientist or philosopher, at least not in any official sense, but from the crazy old man from NBC's The Office. Break the code. Find your soul. Cast the die. Lose control. Break the code. Find the formula. Lose control in euphoria. Before we can colonize the galaxy, however, we need to ride the exponential curve of technological progress upwards. The line, lose control in euphoria, makes me think of this process like a type of ecstasy for our species. At an ever-quickening pace, we'll be able to eliminate sources of suffering and risk, and create new opportunities for innovation. Along the way, we'll likely develop artificially intelligent computers and machines, or perhaps even engineer new biological life, which could hold the secrets to the nature of consciousness and address many mysteries about the human experience. That is, we may break the code and find our soul. The solos and instrumental sections that follow are the sound of our rise along this curve. This is where the song's blending of modern and 80s sounds reaches its apex. I believe this is a nod to the hopeful feeling captured in 80s fashion, music, science fiction, and culture generally, that the future was right around the corner. While it's turning out to take longer than we might have wanted, the backdrop of this feeling from the 1980s complements the song's vision for the future. Their design, shifting frame by frame. Blur the lines, the cycle starts again. I like to think the last chorus has an alternative meaning. If we linger on this idea of our technological supremacy allowing us to seed new forms of intelligent life, artificial or otherwise, we might be said to be gods ourselves, in our own way. Or at least, the line will be blurred. Creating new forms of intelligence will bring forward a new consciousness, awakening in the dark of the universe, as we once did, serving to start the cycle again. Now, do I think this is the interpretation you would get verbatim from the band? Of course not. There are as many interpretations of this song as there are people interpreting it. This patchwork of individuals deriving meaning from a piece of art is itself part of the art. So have a listen to the song, read over the lyrics, and contribute your piece of the patchwork in the comments below. Thanks for watching.